We're at the quarter mark of the NBA season, which means, we can start looking at who's the real contenders for the NBA championship and the pretenders, that are just, flying out there trying to make a run. But yeah, we'll look at all of that. And also we got have been promised a Clippers rant. So I have to go off of my team a little bit, let it all out. We're at the quarter mark of the NBA season, which means, we can start looking at who's the real contenders for the NBA championship and the pretenders, that are just, flying out there trying to make a run. Also, we got have been promised a Clippers rant. So I have to go off of my team a little bit, let it all out. This is Balling Out once again, back at you, Shawn, Nate, Grant, coming to you guys, another episode. Before we get into things, I do want to say this is our first episode back since, Mr. Tapp got married. So I want to just say congratulations.
Sure.
Yeah, they got something. Yeah.
Thank you, boys.
Congratulations to Nate and Megan. Wishing you guys the best. And
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, jealous of your trip. It looked like it was much sunshine and stuff, and I could use that right now because.
I had to get right out the cold, bro, for a little bit.
I don't blame you.
Smart man right there. Smart man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So I guess to open, I guess I might as well just get it out now. So you can go ahead and I'll start with my Clippers here.
Popcorn.
So Clippers, as of this recording, we're recording this on Sunday, so they are 6-18. Not looking hot. We're 14th right now in the Western Conference. I think like the fourth worst record in the NBA. We're worse than the Brooklyn Nets. So if that says anything, I mean, we want to go back to when this all started happening. So you enter the Friday, October 31st. We're playing the New Orleans Pelicans, and I don't know if I said it on the podcast or if I just told you guys, but I was like bet on the Pelicans because I was like the Clippers always somehow lose to the Pelicans, right? That game, Kawhi Leonard hits a game-winning shot. I'm like, all right, Kawhi might be back. Next game, they play Miami, okay? They lose by 120-119. Kawhi gets hurt, goes down. They call it an ankle injury. Then like a week later, they're saying, oh, it's a foot and an ankle injury. So he missed, a good 2-3 weeks of the season. After that, it just all came crumbling down. I mean, 2 games later, Bradley Beal find out he hurts his hip. He's out for the season. This was supposed to be, the replacement for Norman Powell you traded for. John Collins entered into the starting lineup due to the injury to Kawhi Leonard. Has just been abysmal, trash, terrible. Then you got Derek Jones Jr. 2 weeks later, he gets hurt. And he's out for like 3 to 6 weeks. Brook Lopez, out of the rotation, not even, reliable to a sense. Doesn't even get in the paint anymore. He just wants to chuck up threes. Chris Paul, well, we'll get more into that a little bit here. But, I mean, he gets like 5-6 DNPs in a row, doesn't play when I think he's needed. But, I mean, the start of the season, he was terrible. I mean, I think he averaged like a point. It was not looking good. I haven't watched the full Clippers game probably since that game-winning shot against the Pelicans. So it's been a good almost 2 months now that I've sat and watched the full Clippers game. But if for the viewers and for you guys, if you haven't watched the Clippers game, which you probably haven't, there's what I'll tell you what happened. And this has been for the last month and a half or so. Clippers, they start out good. First quarter, they start out good. James Harden's cooking. All right. Then, the game gets, a little bit closer, tighter in the second quarter. Going to halftime, Clippers have a lead. Third quarter comes, and the Clippers just forget how to play basketball. Turnovers, can't rebound the ball, just terrible miscues. It's garbage, Fourth quarter comes, and, they try to come back late after they're down, by 15 or so points, and it's too late, too little too late. That's been the recurring theme for the past, month or whatever. They have the worst third quarter. They're like the worst team in the third quarter in the NBA. I don't even know. You're sitting 14th, don't have a draft pick. You're about to give OKC, who is the number 1 seed, probably about to repeat champions for the first time since Golden State. The OKC is probably about to have a top 5 pick, which I don't even know if that happened before in the league because they have the Jazz pick and they have the Clippers pick. It is very possible that OKC could win the championship, then 2 weeks later in the draft have 1, 2, or 3. They could get Boozer, they could get AJ, or they could get Darren Spears. And it's like, it's ridiculous because you're just like, okay, well, you're just like adding on talent to this OKC team that could probably, I mean, run the table next year because everyone's coming back, right? They just re-signed everyone. So I don't know what the Clippers are going to do, right? And then we get to this past week, Chris Paul gets sent home. I wake up, right, and I see, and I'm like, what do you mean Chris Paul just gets sent home, right? And I think you guys texted, and I was like, what's going on? I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So as the story, I'm reading and stuff like that. Turns out Chris Paul was being too vocal, and I was like, okay, well, like, he's being too vocal. Why? Because he wants to win and he wants to compete. But it turns out he was just playing so bad that nobody wanted to listen to him. And basically, like, everything that he said was going in one ear and out the other. Him and Ty Lue, I guess, were on bad terms, right? They didn't talk or communicate or anything like that. Then, to make it even worse, the players, James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, go, oh, I had no idea that was going to happen. I found out, at 3 a.m. like everybody else did. Yeah, okay. So, and then Lawrence Frank comes out and says, in the press conference, he's not like, the scapegoat or anything like that. The record is, just, we're bad, basically. He said, we're bad, and I own up to it. Then comes out and says, yeah, Ty Lue is going to be our coach still. What do you mean Ty Lue is still going to be your coach? I mean, I love Ty Lue. Don't get me wrong. He's shown, like, over the years that he can do it, and then he's shown over the years he can't do it. But I think if you're sitting at 14, 6 wins, and mind you, I think there's about 9 games. I went through the schedule. There's about 9 games that they should have won that were close, and they should have won. They would really be sitting probably, like, in the middle of the Western Conference right now, right, if you win those 9 games. So I don't know. I don't know. Steve Ballmer doesn't want to tank because, he's all about just wanting to win and everything like that. And make matters worse, since I've been a Clippers fan, which has been, since they got Chris Paul back in the day, they've never had a losing record. This is the worst. So this is my first time as a Clippers fan, them having a losing record, being terrible, and not probably going to the playoffs. Now, do they go to the play-in? I think they will go to the play-in. But they're going to get smacked by whoever they play. I don't know what ends up happening. James Harden, I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to go out, and request a trade, pull out the fat suit. Kawhi Leonard, I have no idea if he's even tradable because of the whole investigation. I don't know. I think the NBA, I don't know if you can like trade somebody that's in the investigation. I don't know. So like, yeah, dude, I have no idea what the Clippers are doing anymore. I mean, it's terrible to see them just, the Unction is in full function. Let's just say that. The Unction is in full swing. You can tell, like, the third quarter comes, the fourth quarter comes, they just don't have it in them anymore. It's like they get ran out by teams in the second half because they're old and they're, kind of basically being lazy, half-assing it out there on the court. So, like, that's going to come and bite you, and like I said, they're 14th right now. Luckily, you got to play in. Do I think they could get into play-in? Possibly. It depends on what Memphis does. Depends on what Portland does. Utah, I feel like they're going to start tanking here. Dallas, they're up in the air. Sacramento, if they go on a fire sale, they could be up in the air. But I don't like, even if they do trade for someone and try to, trade window opens December 15th, the unofficial trade window. That's when everyone that got recently signed can officially, be eligible for trade. I don't even think, like, if they make a move that something can happen. Even if they do make a small move and keep James Harden, Zubac, and Kawhi Leonard, I don't know. Yeah. And that was a long game right there. But I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't make sense how you could be just that bad of a basketball team and not either fire your GM, your coach, somebody. And then when it's the press conference, they're like, yeah, we got to turn it around. Yeah, no shit, you got to turn it around. Like, if you want to be in the playoffs, yeah, you got to turn it around. Like, they just, pass the buck. They're like, well, we got to turn it around. There's nothing else we can do. We got to just come out next game and be prepared. So, it's just the same thing over and over again. Never thought, that I would get to this point. I mean, they want to clear the books for summer of 2027. Go ahead at this point. But like again, you have no draft picks, you have no draft capital, so it's like you have to try to trade Zubac, Kawhi, James Harden for some first round draft pick, even if it's a late or a middle first round draft pick. You got to do it at this point, especially if this continues. Because I mean, you keep let's say they keep the same team throughout the whole season, right? They don't make the play-in, they're finished at the bottom of the Western Conference. You come back next year with essentially the same team, you're going to be in the exact same situation. Like there's no light at the end of the tunnel at all right now. And so, yeah, luckily, thankfully, I have the Pistons. I've been fully devoted in watching Pistons games this year. Clippers games, I look at the score and I go, that same thing, the box score watcher when it comes to the Clippers, and same thing, first half have a lead, then second half comes around and they just fall apart. So I don't know if their knees are just like not working. And it's so sad too, because James Harden is having an all-star season. James Harden's going off. Kawhi, when he's playing great. But everyone else is just like, no, I don't know what they're doing. And the bench, don't even get me started about the bench. Oh my God, the bench is abysmal. You can't get 5 points off the bench. I mean, it's like Kawhi Leonard or James Harden have to play the full game in order for them to be in the game. So,
what would you do? Do you think they blow it up?
At this point, yeah. Well, I was thinking about this earlier. I think if you can make a small move right now, say like Zach LaVine or somebody like that, you make a small move right now and go get Zach LaVine, at December 15th when the trade window opens, you do something, okay? Then once you get to All-Star break, if you evaluate and say, okay, we haven't gotten better or anything, that's when you blow it up. That's when you say, all right, who wants Kawhi? Who wants James Harden? Who wants Zubac? Let them go to contenders, and you just get some draft capital, and you just ride out the rest of the year. Put out your young guys and see what they can do. But I mean, yeah, pretty much the season's washed. I had them at the beginning of the season. I think like 3 or 4 seed. Oh my gosh, that was so wrong. That was a terrible thing. I mean, yeah, it's like they have no fight. And it's just so sad. I can't even, I'm at a loss for words. That's why I don't even watch them anymore. I just go on Twitter and look for the post-game conference, and see what the media people have to say, because it's just like same shit, different day. That's all it is.
Well, and after you said it too, I mean, you're right. I feel like the past decade, they've been in the playoffs. It's not like they've been a losing franchise like they have been in the earlier 2000s, but this is going to be one of the first seasons to where they're not, in that playoff hunt like they have been before. So it is kind of surprising. And especially with the Chris Paul thing. I mean, it's one thing that, yeah, he's 40 years old. He's not playing, but he's been this kind of outspoken guy his whole career. It doesn't really make any sense. Maybe it is a lot of Ty Lue and some of the upper management, but having him be sent home for something that he's been known to do his whole career is definitely interesting.
Yeah, and he's on his retirement tour.
Yeah,
so he knew that he signed the contract. When he signed the contract this summer, he knew that he was going to get DNP. He was fine with it. Like he was completely fine with that. He knew he was going to get low minutes. But like, yeah, if you just be like, yeah, you're talking too much. Go home. Like it's like what? And here's the thing: they can't cut him because he was on a 1-year deal and it's so low. So they have to trade him. So who do you trade him for? I don't know. So it's either you trade him or he just chills at home for the rest of the season. And, he's just getting the paycheck.
And he's on the minimum, too. It's not even like he's...
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm disappointed that, like you said, it's been in a decade. It's the first time they haven't been to the playoffs. They probably won't go to the playoffs. I mean, they had the longest streak of making the playoffs in the NBA. Now that comes to an end. Yeah, so.
What do you think they have to get rid of the whole new stadium that they built and all that? Like after ticket sales are probably gonna increase. No one's gonna want to go to the games. I mean, it's not really great right now. Like I don't know what you do in that scenario. You just gotta basically sell just a fire sale for everything, and then you're gonna probably rebuild for another 10 years. Are you mentally ready for another 10 years of Clippers basketball, Shawn, to be completely mediocre?
No, we won't be completely mediocre because, I mean, we have the second or third richest man in the world that owns the team. So he's going to pull something. As long as, he's not found guilty in this investigation, he's going to pull off something. But I think this investigation, I think it's definitely like it's become bigger now because it's like, okay, can you trade Kawhi Leonard? Can Steve Ballmer do? Because like if Steve Ballmer's found guilty, then he's probably going to be either have to sell the team or he's going to have to be suspended for a year and he can't do anything. And at that point, I don't know what you do. Oh, I mean, at least we got the All-Star break. We got the All-Star game, at Intuit Dome. So that's all we got going for us right now. Hopefully James Harden will be there, but I mean, yeah, it's just like I don't even know, dude. Like it's terrible. Like I didn't think for you to go last year, Game 7 with Denver Nuggets, head to head, and you only make small tweaks to the team. It's just like that John Collins for Norman Powell trade looks like terrible. Like because Norman Powell is hooping, he better get an All-Star this year. And yeah, man, it's bad beat, bro.
Yeah, it's tough scenes. I feel for you. As much crap as I give you, this is you're gonna be in for a long time. This is gonna be for as long as they were making the playoffs. They gotta miss the playoffs for just the same amount. So it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
They did Chris Paul so dirty, bro. That's just crazy.
That was horrible.
And I don't even like Chris Paul like that.
No, me neither. But like, say for example, like if the Clippers were like, top seed in the West or something like that, and like he was really a locker room like cancer, just couldn't do it. Like when you guys are actually balling, I still wouldn't really be like, oh yeah, like nice work, Clipper. No, but like I at least would get it. You guys are out there trying to do something bigger than that. When you're a bottom dweller, it doesn't get much worse than that. You might as well just let the man who was, basically bringing attention to your organization for so long. You might as well let him go out on top, with your squad. Instead of kind of what happened here, because now it's just like his whole legacy with the Clippers. It's like
he's gonna be known for this.
All of that, yeah. Like it's like Lob City, all that for how great it was. Basically, unfortunately, doesn't really mean that much anymore now.
Yeah, I find that so hilarious too. 12 hours before he posted something about Lob City days, then 12 hours later, I'm being home.
They said, do not bring that up.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point, Grant. Like, it is interesting to think about, like, all right, if we were in the middle, like, at the top of the Western Conference, like, okay, if he was such a bad cancer, or, like, vocal leader in the locker room, like, would they have still, like, done this? Will he have still been sent home? So it's definitely, like, I don't know, it's got two sides to the coin, but yeah, part of me is like, okay, I understand it. At the same time, it's like, you can't do like pretty much the guy that puts you guys on the map. Like, because you had Blake Griffin, you had DeAndre Jordan, but you were mid that first season of Blake Griffin. And then Chris Paul came and he turned the franchise around. So, it's like you can't really do that to him. He'll still have like his number retired, in the Clippers stadium, I still think, even though, the situation. But
yeah, does he get a statue? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he gets a statue. I mean, yeah, hopefully he gets his jersey retired. But yeah, I don't know about a statue. And that's we'll have to see. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's my Clippers rant that I have for today. I'm sure it'll extend, throughout the season or whatnot. But who knows what can end up happening. If they end up fire selling everybody, then we're just gonna be terrible for a year. That's fine. And
couple.
Maybe we can go get maybe probably a couple. Maybe we can go get Trae Young.
Maybe a few.
And if the Thunder get that top pick too, that's gonna be even hard to swallow.
Oh, yeah. The Thunder get that top pick. I mean, you gotta really like.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's definitely the worst. One of the worst trades right there.
This year, if OKC wins it again this year, and then they come back and have a top 5 pick, I'm ready to say it was the worst trade. Yeah, I'm ready to say. Yeah.
I mean, Clippers have run a generation of bad trades. So.
Yeah, because you gave them essentially with those draft picks you traded Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and one of the 3 prospects that I just named. So you're giving them basically fuel for the next 8 plus. But
if we believe that OKC is going to be starting a dynasty, which I know some people have talked about, it's like you basically just handed them the blueprint. Like, there it is. Get it done.
yeah,
Oh, so tough. So
I mean,
tough.
at least we can say, as Clippers fans, we helped start a dynasty. So, I guess we got that much.
You guys are caring. You guys are good people.
Man. But yeah, so moving on. Speaking of OKC, I want to bring up before we get into our contenders, pretenders. Nate, your hot take. I think it was about a month ago now. Looking solid. I can't lie.
I don't think they've lost really since he said that.
I don't think they've lost a game since I said that.
I think
They've not lost.
14 straight. 14 straight.
Yeah. They have
That's
not
it.
lost since he said that. Jalen Williams came back and instantly made an impact.
They're insane, bro.
Yeah,
They're insane.
You believe it now? Do you believe it a little bit more that they're gonna do it?
I mean, it's looking like so. I mean, I think I saw too on some betting markets, they're already projected over 70 wins. So, like, a lot of people are already thinking that they're gonna continue on this pace. So,
Yeah.
whether or not they get to the actual record or not, they're gonna be close to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
They look like nobody can play with them, essentially. Like, I've watched their games. I was just watching the other night, them playing Dallas. It was close for a little bit, but then they go on a run and they just open the game up and, win by 15, 20 points every time. And,
yeah,
it's just, I don't know, like, yeah, people are, still complaining about Shea, going to the free throw line and stuff of that matter. But it's like, dude, James Harden was doing the same thing. Y'all wasn't saying anything, or people were saying stuff. Kobe was doing the same thing. People were saying stuff. It's just, it comes to a point where you just got to recognize ball, man. You guys got to be a ball knower, and recognize what he's doing, and you just got to try to stop it. And if you can't stop it, well, he's going to keep doing the same thing. And, OKC is going to start winning, keep winning. So I'm, if they finish out the December, without a loss, I think they'll do it.
Well, and I saw something too. I think when Chet Holmgren plays, they're 17 or 18-0. They might be 19-0 now. He should easily be a lock for first team all defense. I mean, he's been insane for them. I mean, Hartenstein goes down and it doesn't even matter. It's just kind of insane to watch how well they're playing together. Like you said too, I mean, J-Dub comes back and they get even better, it seems like. Exactly the opposite of the Clippers. Their bench is insane. Everyone on their bench can hoop. I mean, you get a guy, I still can't believe a guy like AJ Mitchell. He's like just another example of how the Thunder can take a guy to the next level, it seems like, in their career, where he's essentially a no-name a couple of seasons ago, and now he's a key piece in their lineup.
Yeah.
No, he's been hooping. I mean, I think he's like, you said it earlier, like kind of, he's like one of those like uncovered gems, kind of that you put him on another team, he's probably, maybe like the star player, but he's an OKC and, he has his games where he goes off, but then he, has his games where, he takes a little bit of back seat. So
I mean, him, Case and Wallace, like those guys Isaiah Joe too, and Wiggins, like those guys for them coming off the bench. Wallace starts sometimes, but like they just, put them on any other team on the league and they could easily be a top 3 player on their team.
Yeah.
At least someone that's for sure making an impact.
Right.
Like you're getting it could be a future 6-man, even if it's someone like that that's not even maybe in the starting lineup, but you're getting someone that's just more consistent in that role even. Like you just mentioned, they're so deep. That's why collectively they just beat the shit out of teams. Like they do. Like right now, they're averaging about a 15-point, difference for every game. That's going out there. I mean, right now they're averaging about 122 to about 107. So if you can do that, I mean, they haven't lost to the Eastern Conference, hasn't lost to a single team out there. Like they're filthy when it comes down to it. I mean, they're stacked with talent, but I kind of want to move on for 1 second to another team that's right below them there. Shawn's favorite team, the Los Angeles Lakers. We out here hooping as well right now. One team gotta go down so the other can rise. So obviously it seems like the Lakers are doing that right now. I don't know what you was talking about when you were saying, when LeBron comes back, it's going to be way worse.
I think I was right though. The streak of 10 points ended.
Nah, you said the whole Lakers team would get worse. They 8-2 in the last 10. We're not talking about individually. We'll have to pull up that clip. I need that. I need Chad to pull that up.
Right, you're right. I did. I will say though, they have been hooping, but I don't think that they're going to be like. I don't think they're gonna make the West Conference Finals. I don't think so. I still think Houston and Denver is better than them. That's just
I don't hate that though, because honestly, the West is just so good. The Rockets have been pretty damn good, and the Nuggets kind of looking like they might make some type of run again, like they were in the past, So I don't hate that at all. Just want to point out that
They are second in the West though right now. Yeah.
One LA team falls, so the other can.
Don't ever forget that.
And that way, if you go all the way down, you already got to do some scrolling. But if you get down there, you'll see them.
Yeah.
You'll see them. Clippers.
Below the Giants.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Below the Giants. Below the Kings, too, dude. It's terrible. Oh, my gosh. But, I mean, hey, you guys Lakers, I will say, I'll give them credit. They're hooping. They're looking like a complete team this season. A full off season with Luka. It sounds like, or it looks like they're more acclimated to the offense and how it works. I will say one player who I did not expect to kind of, I guess, be where he's at right now is Rui Hachimura. And that man's been hooping. I'm not gonna lie.
You saw his 1-3?
I've never been like a real like. No, I mean he's been good. He's been good, averaging 13, 3, and an assist on 53% shooting. So I mean,
that trade value up.
Shots every night. Yeah. I mean, trade value. Who are you gonna trade for? Who are you gonna get? Okay. You want LeBron James to be in that trade? Yeah.
But no, about the Lakers. I mean, Grant said it 2 weeks ago or something like that. But Austin Reeves, he might be the best undrafted player of all time because that boy can score.
That boy can hoop.
He can hoop. He, number one player on the team, second player, third player. It doesn't matter. He's gonna give you what you need. I mean, I think a couple nights ago he had 38. So it's looking dangerous out there.
See, my thing, I'll say just real quick with him. The thing I like about him is kind of what you were saying. He can be plugged in so many roles. Like, he can be that number one guy if you want him to be. He could be the number two guy. He could be the number three guy. Like, he kind of just fits in. He's a glue guy in that sense. Like, when LeBron was missing time to start the season, like, you need him to kind of be that number two. Let's do it. Luka goes down, and it was just him. What's he do? Go out and drop like 50? Like, I mean, that was, like, he can do it. Like, that's the thing with him. Like, he's so special about it, I will say. And again, this is not a stray at your team again here, Shawn, but like Paul George for example, like Paul George back in the day, like he just couldn't do it. He simply had to be that guy. Like he was that. He was that.
Oh man.
When AR goes out there, like he just shows up. Again, this is no disrespect. This is not an PG or nothing like that. He's just one of the first stars that kind of came to my mind that like there wasn't like even like with Embiid, which I guess Embiid's tough. He hasn't played for shit either. But like all this stuff, like it's just AR fits in so well with this team, and he's not like a ball dominant guy. He doesn't have to be like off the ball. He can still do it on ball. Like he just like I said, kind of fits in everywhere. He's that glue piece that just makes things work. That's why my hot take with him was I still kind of believe it. We still got to give him a lot more time, but like he might go down as one of those better undrafted guys. But I don't think he's ever going to get past Ben Wallace, but right there for sure.
He's not going to get past Ben Wallace or Alex Caruso. That's just, no.
Man, AR can score better than both.
He can definitely score better.
The offensive end, yeah, I would agree.
Cold.
Defense. The defense.
Yeah, it's the all-around game. I mean, you can take your pick there. So, I mean, obviously Ben Wallace defensively, not many people are touching that.
Right. Yeah. I just, I guess this leads into we can go through the contenders, pretenders. But I don't think they're a contender. I don't think the Lakers are in that. I think they're in the mix, for making a deep playoff run, possibly, get to the second round. But out of the West, I got OKC, Denver, and Houston as my 3 contenders.
Yeah, I would agree with that, except I'm probably taking out the Rockets, though, and putting the Lakers in.
Yeah.
I'm going right down 1 through 3.
So you're taking the Lakers out they're taking the Rockets out and putting the Lakers in.
Well, honestly, too, there's some games where Denver plays, and I do agree, they're probably contenders still, but there's some games where it's like Jokic will score 40 and they still lose. Now with the Thunder, Shea does that, they don't lose, So if we're talking about real contenders to win the championship, Obviously, Denver's in there. I mean, they got one of the best players in the league. But I think it is kind of between only a couple teams: OKC, LA, Houston. The rest of those teams, they just don't really seem like they're actually going to make a super deep run for the chip. Because really, it's like who's going to beat OKC? But then after that, it's like who's actually going to, bearing injuries and stuff like that. If the Lakers match up with a Minnesota or something in the playoffs, that could be. Minnesota hasn't been doing the greatest right now, but at the same time, they could still knock them off. So I kind of agree with you too, Shawn. There's some aspects of the Lakers that it's kind of like you don't totally know if they are actually going to be a title contender.
Yeah. So who do you guys think is in the West? We'll keep it in the West. Who do you think is OKC's biggest threat in the West at this point in the season?
I mean, it would probably be a team like Houston, just because they could probably keep up with them scoring wise. But Denver too, because of that Jokic aspect, and Murray's been going off too. So like he could go 1-for-1 against Shea if he needs to, but there's times where he doesn't always, show up. So I don't know. That's the thing. I mean, OKC's been on such a good run right now. It's like it's hard to even tell right now.
Yeah.
Hard to look at other teams because when OKC is just like, I think everyone's clear and obvious favorite to win it. But like a team like I guess what you were saying, like who gives like the Thunder a tough matchup. Like I like again, that's why I think the Lakers or Nuggets really because you got a guy like Jokic, you got a guy like Luka Doncic on those teams that you just know for a fact what you're going to get every single day out of that guy in the playoffs, especially there. And like those are both kind of seasoned vets. Those are teams that have done it before. Not saying that KD obviously on the Rockets hasn't, but just the Rockets as a whole, kind of this is a newer team. I just don't think they had like that experience, and that's kind of why I think like some of these other teams going against a younger Thunder team. While I don't think anyone's really going to knock them off, I think they would give them at least a challenge, at least put up a fight in my eyes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I see that. Yeah, I mean, Lakers in Denver, like you put them in a playoff series. I couldn't tell you who would win in a 7-game series right now, to be honest with you. Like I could see it going to Game 7. I couldn't tell you who wins Game 7 though. Because like you said, Nate, Jamal Murray, like yes, he has his bright spots, but then at times he has his duds where he's just out there to be out there. Aaron Gordon started the season hot, then he got hurt. Same thing with Christian Braun. He got hurt. Oh, and I don't think like Cam Johnson, they traded Michael Ford Jr. for him this offseason. Like he hasn't like really done anything yet.
Yeah.
So and then you got the Lakers, like yeah, you got AR, you got Luka, you got Bron, DeAndre Ayton, Rui, but I think like just their bench production, I'm a little bit concerned about. I guess come the postseason, I don't know if you can depend. How many minutes are you going to give Marcus Smart in playoff game? Marcus Smart, Gabe Vincent, guys like that.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Yeah, they're not playing Bronny.
No. No.
Unfortunately not. Actually, I don't know. I might want to play Bronny over Gabe Vincent.
Oh, Gabe Vincent.
Really?
Yeah, Gabe Vincent sucks.
Bronny might at least have some fresher legs.
That's true. I mean, Gabe Vincent come playoff time, he might be hurt. He's an injury prone.
Hopefully he gets traded.
You might. Yeah, and then you said Nate, the middle of the pack. I got my pretenders in the West, keeping in the West. Minnesota, Phoenix, the Spurs. Yes, they're having great starts to the season. Minnesota, yes, they've gone to the Western Conference Finals, back-to-back years. But I just, like you guys said, OKC, Denver, Houston, the Lakers, I just don't see them being able to beat those teams, especially with their whole like point guard situation right now. Like Mike Conley, like he's doing his thing, but are you gonna be able to depend on Mike Conley come postseason? Phoenix, they just there. I think they're like last year's Clippers team where it was like a surprise to everybody, that they were like so hot. And the Spurs, I think they're just too young. I think, Wemby hasn't been playing the last couple of weeks due to injury, but I think they're just too young. And, maybe they need, I wouldn't necessarily say maybe they need another player, but I think maybe they just need another year of experience. Going to the playoffs this year, I think would go a long way for the Spurs organization moving forward, with Wemby and everything like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
that's what I got. Yeah. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, I got 3 contenders in the Eastern Conference. I got the Knicks, I got the Orlando Magic, so I'll explain that one in a little bit, and I got the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons, I see them as kind of a mix of last year's Indiana Pacers team where they were like sneaky, but then I see them also as not last year, but the year before, OKC's team where, they were a young team at the top of the conference and everybody was kind of surprised, like, ooh, they could be good. Now I think that the Pistons have a good chance of making the finals. It just depends on if they run into, Orlando or maybe somebody else that's hot. Now, Orlando, I've been ripping on Orlando, since the start of the season, maybe said it was start of the alarm. But Paolo went down, and, the Magic may have gotten a little bit better. You can say what you want to say about that. They played today. Franz Wagner went down. Questionable on that. So that could be another thing. And then the Knicks, they've had their struggles, especially on the road. But, like, at home, you play them at home, and they're, pretty much unbeatable. So those are my 3 contenders. And then the pretenders, Toronto, they're sitting at second. But, it's only a matter of time before Brandon Ingram gets hurt, unfortunately. Boston, I don't think they're going to hold up this long. Jaylen Brown is left hand. It's going good now, but during the playoffs, I don't know if it'll hold up. Philly, yeah, they're Philly, they're there. Thanks to Tyrese Maxey being the leading scorer in the NBA. And you already know I had to put Cleveland in here too because Cleveland is just so fake. They just regular season merchants cannot do anything in the postseason. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell will probably lead them, first round win, and they'll go to the second round, and then they'll get beat by whether it be Orlando, New York.
Yeah, okay. Respect, though. Respect.
Same. Yeah, well, you guys got any contenders and pretenders in the Eastern Conference there? Or we can just talk about the Eastern Conference if you want.
So I only got 2 contenders in the East there. Everybody else is, besides the Magic, depends if they get hot, but like Cleveland, we already know it doesn't matter where they finish, they ain't doing nothing. The only 2 contenders in my eyes are the Pistons and the Knicks. Both teams, you can just look at it like statistically going across like all teams in the NBA right now. For example, Knicks top 5 in points per game, top 5 in rebounds per game. You come down here. 3-pointers made, 3-pointers percentage. Like you got like some major stats there. Pistons, blocks and steals, your top 5 there. Your top 5, your top 2, I should say, in rebounding per game. So like other than that, if you go through it too, there ain't too many other Eastern Conference teams in these top 5 at all. So the fact that we're just seeing, like I'm seeing the Pistons and Knicks like as the only ones, just tells me everything I need to know, like right now. And I think at the end of the day, I will, well, because it's my hot take, I don't want to go really into it.
Okay.
But I kind of just leave it at that for now and save the rest. But yeah, I think those 2, everything else, the Raptors, not concerned. Celtics, not ready yet. Sixers, never were a question. Magic, like I said, I could see them maybe doing something. Really, in my eyes, if you're talking about teams that are coming out of the Eastern Conference to make it to the finals, there's only 2 of them. It's Pistons and Knicks for me.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I did put Cleveland in the contender just because, I think they'll end up at the top of the standings at the end of the season, but I still don't know. I feel like they might be a team that might make a move at the deadline to either make themselves better. But I feel like I've heard some rumors about like Jared Allen or some other, just because, they got Evan Mobley, and I don't really know how many more seasons they want to try to do this double big lineup if it doesn't necessarily result in postseason success. So, but yeah, the East has been so chaotic right now. You also got teams like Miami in there where it's like, yeah, they've been starting off good. But if anything, they'll probably, like we had talked about earlier, they'll probably be a play-in team, win the play-in round, and then lose the first round, or win the first round and then lose in the second round. So, if there were a third team, maybe Toronto, just because I do think the combination of Scotty, Ingram, and trying to think who else they had on there. But they have not been playing really too terribly. I think they're starting to understand how their offense should work. And, looking at their schedule here, they do got some weaker games. They got to play New York this week, but then they play like Milwaukee, Boston, Brooklyn, Miami, Washington. So like they have a chance to continue to stay at the top of the list. But I kind of had the same pretenders as you too, Shawn, in terms of like Boston, Philly, some of these other teams where it's like, think at the beginning of season 2, we all knew that they weren't really gonna probably at the end of the year stay where they're at. But I mean, they've been fighting at least to stay at the top of the standings for now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's only a matter of time,
but yeah, I don't think they're actual title contenders.
Yeah. No, I would agree. Who knows? Toronto could go on a they were hot for a minute, but they could go on a bad losing streak and go back to their annual play-in tournament. So
yeah,
who knows? Which by the way, that's where the Bulls are right now. I said that. You had said earlier, the Bulls are looking hot, and I was like, they'll be right back there. But yeah, I guess that's like just going through like how the season has looked so far. I mean, nobody has really, I guess, except for OKC, has really like stood out as like the clear favorites to win it. The East is just abysmal. I bet you we get to Christmas time and you're gonna have the 6th seed, with the losing record, but they're the 6th seed. So that's just how it's been the last couple of years in the East and the West. Just got some bad teams, fighting for their life, and yeah, there it is. So yeah, we're getting closer to All-Star break and things like that, so we'll have to sit down and give our All-Star teams with a new format and look more into some players like mid-season awards and stuff of that matter. But yeah, that is all that we have for today, and until next time, we'll catch you guys.
Peace.